Korean commuter train? Wait, what? They play jams? Wait, are people pushing this? Does he have more Korea stuff? Wait, why can't I play this? What the hell? Give me the Korea shit. Wait, what happened? I want to know. Wait, does he have more? Is this supposed to be a negative? No, it's not. I don't think he's. Why? I know everyone is like immediately conditioned into thinking anything and everything about places where I've pooped my pants. This is like what a chatter would put forward. What is this music? This is some like Sam Fisher. We need you to retrieve the Declaration of Independence ass music, dude. Splinter Cell. Okay, listen. Oh, here, let's watch this. Things I learned in North Korea. Okay, I want to know more about the North Korea shit. Wait, did they take... Wait, what? The sound is off. That sucks. This is communism in its purest form. In North Korea, citizens do not pay any rent. The government pays for the full cost of their homes, but in return, there is no freedom to choose that home. A home is assigned to you based on your profession and how important that profession is to the state, with the most important professions being considered scientists, teachers, and politicians. North Koreans also do not have freedom to choose their own careers. The government runs schools, make the decision of what career you will have based on your school performance. The students get to write down their top 5 preferred careers, which the government will then take into consideration, but ultimately has the final say if you will be a construction worker or a scientist. Okay. Look up. I love all the people asking how in the comments, like they can't just book a trip there themselves. Man, it's not that easy to go to North Korea. Come on, dog. Like, as an American citizen, I think a lot of people forget how easy it is for you to travel all around the world. But it's not necessarily that easy for many people with different passports to travel all around the world. What is this? This page has super informative stuff. Wait, what? Also, it's still hard. You have to go to, I think you have to go through China. There's no, first of all, there's no direct flights to North Korea, chatters. Like, you think you could just like fucking hop on a plane to Pyongyang from LAX, dude? Also, as far as defending North Korea, I mean, there are defensible parts about the misinformation surrounding North Korea. I do think that it's banned right now for Americans. Like what do you call it? Like there's a lot of misinformation about North Korea. Like people act like it's a desolate shithole where people are eating rats and poop and stuff. That part is not true. Like especially Pyongyang, but North Korea, as far as I understand it, has developed tremendously since like the worst aspects of the famine in the 90s. So overall, it's like They're doing the most, you know, but there's no pushing trains and stuff. They're doing the most with like very limited resources that they have. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the first people to like straight up rip into Yami Park out here before it became like a massive meta to just like kind of dunk on her. Before it became like way more permissible to dunk on her, basically. I used to make fun of Yami Park, worried that people would like hear me and be like, "How dare you? This woman is like a victim of North Korea, and also and she's telling God's honest truth." Yeah, I've been calling her a grifter for a minute now. Luckily now more people are on board with her grifting ways. But isn't she a victim of back pain? Yeah. They used to have rats pull the trains because Kim Jong-un drank all the oil, but then we wanted to eat the rats, and now we push the train. I'm North Korean, by the way. People will not want to admit it, but this is K-pop. You think this guy has a nice apartment, like a nice government issued apartment, because like he can sing good? The thing is, like, yeah, a lot of people, yeah, no, I think there's a lot of misinformation about North Korea. Straight up, I'll stand on that. I'll say that openly, loudly, proudly. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I mean, depending on which community you're saying it in. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. And I think we should no longer do an embargo. If China is any indication, they are sons and daughters of high-ranking party officials. Hey, can you explain why Yami Park is wrong? I'm out of the loop. I don't know. Chatter, exercise like a little bit of critical thinking. I know you got it in you. You think they're eating rats and then like they're pooping out the rats and then using the manure, like using the poop for manure. And if you hide your poop from the government will come and like punish 8 generations of your family? Or do you think that that's ridiculous? Like Yami Park is just basically hardcore lying. Just send him to your 5 million hour Yami Park react video. Don't engage, bro. Yeah, I mean, there's videos that I've done. Insane to have to say it out loud. Yeah, no, people are pulling and pushing trains in North Korea. Here, there you go. What's Yami's insane North Korean defector exposed 8 months ago with 600,000 views, baby. Go watch it. How come you say Kim Jong-un but not Park Yeon-mi? Good question. I respect the dear leader, supreme leader. I think it's pretty wild that as long as you don't have like a lot of access to a foreign country and the media is very dedicated to just being like they're cannibals over there, people will believe it. Someone in the chat just said that about the someone in the chat just said that about the Taliban, and I feel like if there was enough energy, like right now, Afghanistan is pretty inaccessible, right? I feel like if the media wanted to somehow like make, you know, some anti-Taliban media out there, like they wanted to cut something about the dangers of the Taliban, they could just very easily convince a big chunk of the Western world that the Taliban are engaging in the practice of cannibalism. And I think you would have a lot of people believe in it. This happens with Gaza and Israel too, sure. We already do it. We do it with Cuba, and you can go to Cuba. It's like much easier to go to Cuba than it is to go to North Korea from where we're at. It's pretty much, I mean, people will just like eat up whatever you say.
Asking my North Korean guide how they feel about America.
So based off of that, what would you say is the common perception of, let's say, the United States in North Korea, in DPRK, I'm sorry?
What perception?
Yes.
Up to now, we have no history of invasion. Korea, DPRK. Korea has no history of invasion. So many countries, they've invaded so many countries, but we have no history of invasion. And we didn't do any harmful things to America. Even we didn't stone America up to now at America. But America, they invaded our country. Still, they're in the southern part of our country. And still, they're pursuing a kind of hostile policies against our country, even sanctions against our country. Yes?
Yes.
So, what we want to say, leave our country, lift all sanctions, then we can have a kind of recovered relations. I mean, the relations between America and a country will get better.
How much of that state propaganda do you think the North Korean people actually believe? I have no idea. But the irony is, like, we believe a shit ton of state propaganda too. Like, the average American citizen believes a ton of garbage. We just think we're above it. I think the difference in a place like DPRK is that, like, their citizens are aware that the government is basically feeding them nonsense. Because I assume it's, like, very limited information that you get anyway. I don't know. I really can't speak on DPRK. I do think that there's like definitely a lot of misinformation about it. But overall,
do North Korean citizens really believe their government's propaganda? Let's talk about it. So whenever you see videos of North Koreans, it's probably something like this.
Dude, they go hard. It's always like so intense. You know what I mean? Like TV news media is so intense. It's always like the same old lady who's like, oh, like very angry. Like, I don't know if it's because like it's a language that I don't understand. So it like comes across as very, like the sounds are very, how do I describe it? Like there's like a lot of like hung sounds, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that's like Korean or if that's just like, if it's like a more DPRK dialect or if she's like super passionate, you know what I mean? Because, like, I know chat says that when I speak Turkish, you think I come across as, like, very aggro, right? Even if I'm saying something that's not very aggro. They still got the transatlantic accent version in Korea. That's pretty funny.
Or this.
Crying out of love for the regime. They're so regime pilled.
As fervent believers, but are they really? The answer is pretty much no. This quote is from a book about North Korean defectors, and the author asked one of the defectors how many people she thought were still true believers. She answered 0. And from the North Korean defectors I've talked to personally, I have heard the same thing. This hasn't always been the case, though. I made this video which goes into it in more detail, but North Koreans really used to believe in the regime and North Korean exceptionalism. That all changed during the 1990s Great Famine in North Korea, where this is what North Korean citizens were being told, that North Korea was the greatest place on earth, that they have the greatest leaders on earth, but this is what they were seeing in real life. Children, people starving. The famine ended up killing between 10 to 15% of the total population. And I want to read you guys.
It's sick that we, yeah. It's super sick that once we, eviscerated their only access to the rest of the planet, We just like refuse to help them. And therefore, their entire structure collapsed in its entirety. Why did anybody help them? It's a good question.
Guys, an account from this book by a man named Jun Sang. He was a college student in North Korea, and it's about how he lost his faith during the famine. But this first starts at a train station. As he waited, his attention was drawn to a group of homeless, orphan children who were performing to get money for food. One boy, about 7 or 8 years old, sang. And I'm not going to sing for you, but these are the lyrics. It's essentially praising the North Korean leaders for being so generous in giving the North Korean people so much, which is obviously in contrast to the situation at hand. He would later credit the boy with pushing him over the edge. He now knew for sure that he didn't believe. It was an enormous moment of self-revelation, like deciding one was an atheist. At first, he thought his life would be dramatically different with his newfound clarity. In fact, it was much the same as ever before. He went through the motions of being a loyal subject. On Saturday mornings, he showed up punctually at the ideological lectures at the university, the Workers' Party secretary droning on about the legacy of Kim Il-sung, the former leader of North Korea, sounded like...
Do you think lifting sanctions would make the West less safe? What? Less safe from what? Banger North Korean K-pop? Like, what do you mean? You feel unsafe, dude? Like what? They're gonna, oh, they mean like nukes. They're gonna build nukes. Yeah, we should give them less reason to want to build nukes and aim it at America. Yeah, but they make nukes. Yeah, except we're the only country that has used nukes on another country. Like openly, upon a civilian population. Fuck you mean? But they make nukes. It's 2024, man. Who doesn't have nukes? Everybody's got to have them, okay? Either nobody has them or everybody does. You feel me? I want to be a nation state. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on this. Less safe from this?
Distance like once a month. And like here it would take like 1 hour to go to the other place. In Norway it take a month at least to go because there's no electricity. And sometimes people have to push the train.
They have to push the train.
Yeah. Traveling in Norway is
This is my favorite video. Bruh. Weakest train pusher in the DPRK, dude. This is what happens when you're regime pilled, dog, okay? What do you think happens when you know the Cholima, okay? The Cholima, you see it from the mountaintop, and you are reinstilled with the glory of Jusha, okay? In your heart of hearts, you know, as a worker, you will thrive. You will be able to pull the motherfucking train. Anyway, I heard that song and now I want to push a train, okay? What the flying fuck did I tune into? I can never tell when shit's serious in here. Yeah, dude, you think David Goggins is hard, dude? Oh, who's going to carry the bows? How about who's going to push the trains, brother?
He was on autopilot. He often stuck a peek at the other members of the audience. During the lecture, they jiggled their feet and sat on their hands to stay warm, but their faces were still and expressionless, as blank as mannequins at a department store window. he suddenly realized he wore the same vacant expression on his face. In fact, they all probably felt the exact same way he did about the contents of the lecture. They know. They all know. He
Yami Park
To
exposes
work in
Hasan.
Hassan's editorial work camp for 3 weeks. So if you say Hassan's big mansion is bad, then you have to iron his Gucci shirt for 6 months. And if you ruin one of his shirts, you have to pick up Kaya poop for 1 year. To work in Hassan's editorial work camp for 3 weeks.
That's so good. Not as good as the top of the hour ad break, but in North Korea, there's no ad breaks.